Alpha, go. Bravo, go. Charlie, go. Go.
Today, we're going to be going over another Ready or Not mission, but we're going to be using door kickers to show the tactics and the angles a little bit better of how a SWAT team would actually perform a raid on an apartment complex. So this mission here is going to be based on the 23 megabytes per second mission, where you're going in to get the guy who's allegedly killed his mom and has his brother hostage. It's unsure if it's a swatting call or what's going on, but in the briefing, they tell you that the guy is living here in apartment 14, but he's also got access to these two apartments here, apartment 13 and apartment 15. So if you want to, go ahead and check out up here. I will link above the video where we play through that mission. But for now, we will talk about how an actual SWAT team would raid this type of compound. So in Ready or Not, you've only got 5 people to work with, so you obviously have to go kind of slow and methodical. You can only clear one apartment at a time. But if it were the real deal and it were a hostage rescue type situation, we're going to have our whole team present. We're also going to be hitting all these rooms simultaneously because we don't really want to hit this room, room 14, but he ends up being in room 15. So we hit room 14 and then he starts killing people in 15, or, you know, we start in 13 and then go to 14 and then 15. We don't want to mess around with that. We're just going to do a simultaneous hit on all 3 of these structures at the same time. So we don't have it set up here, but obviously in the real world, we're going to have a perimeter set up. So we don't need to worry about people coming out of back doors, anything like that. If you'll remember in the actual mission, we come up through the fire escape this direction and we hit this door, clear out here, and then we continue to move on. So we're not going to be worried about the external exits right now. We would move our team in through the main atrium. We would set up on all of these doors, and then we would simultaneously breach. So I am going to show at the end one plan made all the way through, where we'll just sit back and watch how the SWAT team makes entry. But to start, we'll go ahead and explain our thought process on why we're doing what as we get in here. So it's going to be hard for me to describe all 3 of these at the same time, so we're just going to start from left to right. We'll show you how we clear one, we'll reset, show you how we clear the next, reset, show you how we clear the next, and then at the end we'll show all 3 being done simultaneously. So here, we'll start with room 14 here. So we're going to bring the majority of our guys in through here since it's the largest apartment, and this is also where we're assuming that the bad guy is at. So we'll set up here. All the front doors are going to be locked because people lock the front door to their apartment. That's just what normal people do. So we are going to have to make entry in here somehow, whether that's going to be explosive or with a battering ram or a breach shotgun. So generally, we're going to try and not use an explosive breach because we don't know who's set up on the other side of this. So we're going to be doing manual breaching for these. So we're going to set up, we want our breacher to be here on the door handle side. So we're going to take Bremer here, and he is going to do a hammer. We would use a ram, but, you know, a hammer, whatever, to open up this door. So as he opens this door, we're going to push this guy up to give him cover. We want to make sure that our doorman has cover because we don't want someone to start shooting through the door. If they do, all he's got is a hammer in his hand. That's not going to be very beneficial. So Cobra would be able to send rounds back if the door opened or if someone started shooting through it. All right, next up, we're going to get these guys stacked up and ready to make entry. We're going to get two muzzles into the room here while these guys just sort of get stacked up. So as they do that, he's going to breach the door. Okay, so we have a nice view into the structure. So as soon as the breacher gets this door open, he's going to roll out of the way. whoever breaches is going to be the last guy in. That's just kind of how it works. So it sucks to be the breacher sometimes, but he's going to roll out of the way. And now we've obviously got 2 guys who are going to be ready to make entry next. So whether this guy's number 1 or this guy's number 1 doesn't really matter. We would have explained that ahead of time. Typically, the guys at the front of the stack are going to be going in first. He's really just here to provide cover. Theoretically, Garcia here has the best view into the room as the door swings open. So we're going to have him be our number 1 man. Before we go in, our number 2 man here is going to get a flashbang in. So we get a flashbang in, and then number 1 man is going to roll in. So this is where our priorities of work start to take precedence. So first priority is going to be a person. Second priority is going to be a open space, and third priority is going to be a closed door. So we have our entire team here off the rip. So one thing that we get caught up in sometimes if we've got a smaller team is we want to pin on these doors because we don't know if someone's going to open them up. But when we're first making entry, we've got our whole team. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 guys. We've got 8 guys in the stack right here. So if number 1 comes to this door and stops, he's just going to be bunching up everyone who's behind him. So he's going to flow. He can flow honestly pretty deep into the structure. He just needs to keep in mind how many things he's going past because we've got a whole 8-man team. So number 1 is going to start to flow in. As he comes here, he's going to see this wall. So as he sees this wall, he's going to have to take this and pin. So he has to pin here because we have to move into this open space. Once we're here though, we're like, dang, we got a bunch of closed doors down here. But it's too late for him to try and reroute and go this way, right? Because if then he tries to go this way, well, there's already dudes who are running right behind him, filling in these spots. So if you're the point man, you can't really be wrong. But whatever you do, you have to stay with it. So there's a saying that we like to say is if you go wrong, stay wrong. So not in saying that coming here is the wrong answer, but it would be wrong to come here and then decide to go somewhere else. So if you go wrong, just stay wrong. So you're just going to stay here because number 2 is going to be flowing right behind you. So number 2, we're going to float 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, right? So he's on the right side of the door. He's on the left side of the door. So as he comes in, he's going to come in next. So he'll come in next and he's going to bypass these same 2 closed doors and he's going to come to here. All right. So as he comes to here, like as he comes around this little corner, he's got a door and he's got an open space. So he can either pin on this door and the guy right behind him will go to the open space, or he can go continue into the open space. So we'll have him continue into the open space and he'll stop here. We don't want to get too overexposed, but he is going to be able to see it into this corner and then pick up deep in here. So we got 1 coming to here, 2 coming to this open space. We're not going to continue flowing. Number 3 is going to go with him and he's probably going to pin on this door. All right. So now they could either make entry or we can just pin right here and see what we got. We're starting to get to the point where, right, we've passed 1 door, we've passed 2 doors, we've passed 3 doors. So if we have all of these guys, we have to think about where we are in the stack. If we're number 2 and we're coming all the way to here, okay, so if I'm here, that means I'm number 2. So number 3 is hopefully going to be right behind me. He'll be pushing me into this room if we need to take it. But number 3 is watching this door because I don't want to run in here just yet with all these closed doors to my back, right? So then we've got number 4 who's going to be coming in, number 5. So we're okay pinning right here into this open space. It's sort of the same deal as him pinning down here on these doors. Once we get to here, we have a little bit of eyes into the room, we can stop, okay? So next we'll bring in, who's this? This is number 4. So he's going to come to this door and pin on it. Then we've got number 5. He's going to come in. He can pin on this door. So now we've got all of our doors covered. So now we can start to move our next people in, right? So next we can bring in Colt. Colt can see, oh look, here's someone waiting to go into a room. I'm going to stack up right here, and then we'll get this door open. Same thing here. When Zani can come out, he can be like, oh look, this guy's waiting to make entry into this room. Let's move right there. Alright, so as we have all of these guys in here, we can start to plus up on these doors, right? So Nate can open up this door while Colt is watching in. We can kick this door. So these two can come in. We can have you kick this door. We can signal across the way that we've cleared out this together. So then we can have these guys move in. Alright, so now this area is cleared. Once these guys have communicated across that this is cleared, he can spin around, and now we can open up this door. All while that's happening, our breacher, we can finally get him added into the fight. So we can plus up this guy over here, but we do want to make sure that we don't penetrate too far this direction. So you can spin around, and we'll have you kick this open. So here we'll clear straight ahead just by opening that door. There's no one here, so we'll get these guys to run the rabbit. We'll have him push all the way across while looking into the unknown, and we'll have him come around this corner. Alright, so they're down. And now we can send these two into here, and we've got two people, so we can take this room. So we'll breach this room. We'll breach this room. Alright, so we have that covered up with his muzzle as we make entry there. Now we can push these guys in. We'll move to here, and we'll move to here. And now we can start to clear out the rest of these. We'll just push these guys along the wall. And then we will clear out this last bit right here. Alright, so this room is officially cleared. So we're just going to leave these guys here because in our scenario, we're going to have everyone going simultaneously. So these guys can stay. We'll go ahead and move over to this room. So in this room, we've got the door handle is way down here in the corner. So one thing that we don't want to really do is spend any time in front of the doorway right here. So let's say we had someone with a sledgehammer trying to get in here. It's going to be very hard to cover him while he's using a sledge in this instance. And again, we don't want to use a breaching charge because we're not really sure what's on the other side of this. So this is a perfect example of when we would want to use the breaching shotgun. So we're going to have our breaching shotgun come to here. That's all you really need to expose yourself, is just to get to these hinges, shoot the hinges off, and then you can make entry. So with that, we're going to bring him to here to give him cover. And then we'll get these guys stacked up and ready to make entry. Alright, so we will shotgun the door. We kick here, and as we can see, we immediately take a shot on this guy. Perfect. So again, as soon as the guy is done breaching, he's going to get out of the way. And then we're going to have our number 2 man toss a grenade in here.
Flash out.
Alright, so we'll do a center check here with this guy. And we can see that pretty much all of this is cleared. Now we've got dead space here, and then obviously here. Again, same deal as over here. We don't need to be too concerned because we have the entire team flowing behind us. So we kind of just have to make a decision on where we want to go. So if their concern, if his main concern when he comes in here is this doorway here, he can go ahead and come in and be focused on this doorway. So we'll have him come in. Our number 2 can press in with him. And number 3 can come right around the corner. Honestly, it doesn't really matter which spot all of these guys take, so long as they all get taken. Like we said, it doesn't matter if you go wrong. If you go wrong, just stay wrong. So we'll have these guys, these 3 guys come in like this. so we found our door here. Now we're going to continue to push these guys across and treat this like a center fed room. All the while, we'll bring these guys in and get ready to make entry on here. And then our breacher can come in last. Okay, so we find another guy. We can go ahead and swap these dudes around. And they'll do button hooks to clear out the last bit. Perfect. Alright, so now we just have to open up this room down here. And we've got 4 guys, so that's more than enough to do it with. So we'll have him breach. We do have the door covered. Right, so they take those shots. Now, same deal. We're just going to flow in. We've got 4 dudes. We can go left and right. So we'll push number 1 to here. Number 2, we'll pin on this door. We can send number 3 to this door. And number 4 can come to this door. Alright, so we're just covering all of our bases. We'll have him kick the door. Same deal as before. We're going to clear straight ahead from the outside. Now we can focus our attention in the unknown. We'll push him in. This is a small little closet type room. This is actually a balcony in the actual mission. So we'll just push 1 in. That's cleared. Same deal up here. We'll have him breach. He's got his gun up. And we'll clear this one. So a little bit smaller apartment. Not as crazy geometry there. So it's easy for these guys to get that done pretty quickly. So we'll again now move to our last room. Again, this would have been happening simultaneously with this. And we'll move on to our last room here. So, all right, so over here, we'll get these guys all stacked up. We've got plenty of space set up in the center here. We don't need to worry about being in a cramped space like we were over here. So on this side, we're going to go ahead and get our hammer out. We'll breach with the hammer. And then, again, same as before. Once you use that hammer, you're going to get out of the way. We'll have him toss a flashbang around this corner. As the flash goes in, we will push up with these guys. And then our breacher will be the last guy in.
They're here!
So as we come to this T intersection, we're going to look as far as we can down each side, and then we're going to do a double button hook. So we'll have Macaulay button hook to here, and he will button hook up like that. Now, we've got a closed door here. So we're actually going to have him hold on this door, push down, while these guys are going to take this room. So that's knowing where you are in the stack, what you have with you. So we'll get these guys pressed over to there. Now, with this side down here, we've got an interesting little situation. So we're going to go ahead and have our number 1 man sort of plug this hole. We're going to have to get a number 2 man to plug this hole, and then we can have number 3 come down to here. So he's going to plug this hole. He's going to plug this hole. And then he's going to plug this hole. Alright, so this is actually pretty well cleared. Just from him standing here. This is obviously clear and this is clear. So we're going to get these guys to watch these corners and push down. Alright, so that is taken care of down there. Now up here, we're going to go ahead and have him breach. We got our coverage set up nicely on the door. Here we are in a center fed room. We're set up on opposite sides of the door. So we're going to push these guys in like that. This is clear. So now we're going to get our last guy to get set up for kicking this door. Kick the door. And that's our guy here. Again, we're sort of set up on opposite sides. We're kind of on the same side. We're in like no man's land here. But he's cleared this side. This is the last side that hasn't been cleared. So we're going to send in him this way and him this way. And then that's going to clear out our room 13 there. So now we will go ahead and play it back. We'll get the option where I've gone ahead and done a one plan to have everyone go at the same time. And we'll be able to watch with all our tactical spaghetti, and then we'll also watch it clean with nothing going on. So we'll roll into that clip.
Alpha, go. Bravo, go. Charlie, go.
Alright, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please drop a like, subscribe, turn your notification bell on, and we'll see you in the next one.